Between Jet, Psycho, Mentats, Buffout, and just about anything you can physically drink, the Fallout universe is full of powerful addictive substances and people who can't get enough of them. You don't have to look very far to find a scaly junkie looking for a quick fix or running a shop called a quick fix. These are the stories of some of the most wretched addicts in the Fallout universe.
Oh, it just makes everything feel good, don't it? I'm starting to see clearly.
Mama Murphy. Obviously, we're going to start out with poor old Mama Murphy, the most obvious and notable addict in the Commonwealth. She'll take Jet, Psycho, or Mentats, basically anything you'll give her. When you give her chems, she hallucinates some kind of vague image of the future, conjures, if you will.
I can see a bit of what was and what will be, and even what is right now.
But her visions do, in fact, come true, even though she delivers them in a particularly showy fortune teller-esque fashion. Because her predictions are accurate, she is most likely a psyker, someone given paranormal activities as a result of radiation and natural collection. The problem is, if you rely too much on her visions, she'll keep asking for more chems.
Just gotta bring me some Jet so I can see what it wants to tell you.
And in turn, if you give her more chems too quickly, she'll have a fatal overdose.
Oh no. Should have seen this coming.
Who are you? Got any psycho? I could really use a fix, but I'm broke.
Paulie Cantelli. Paulie Cantelli is a pretty typical addict. He's hooked on Jet and Psycho, and he has the perfect supplier. His wife runs a Quick Fix, the chem shop in Rivet City.
This is a Quick Fix. I mean, that's the name of our shop. Paulie and mine, that is. My name is Cindy. Cindy Cantelli.
Of course, the shop isn't turning a profit because Paulie can't stop getting high on his own supply. In a lot of cases, you might think there would be an opportunity to help him kick his habit, but nope. There's nothing you can do about it. You can either ignore the problem, or you can feed Paulie's habit by giving him more Psycho. Giving Paulie Psycho is bad karma in the Fallout universe, and you can even double down by stealing the stuff from his room and giving it back to him. If you feed his habit, he'll eventually die of an overdose, which his wife actually seems to be relieved about.
Paulie did. Sample it, I mean. He's dead now. Thank God.
Seems his habit was more destructive than it actually appeared.
One of these days, he's going to end up dead.
El Rey Motel Addicts. The El Rey Motel in the shadow of Camp McCarran and the New Vegas Strip is a popular hangout for chem addicts. These aren't any especially important characters here, but it clearly hasn't been kind to its inhabitants. On the bottom floor of the motel, you'll find a room full of bark scorpions and a dead body. Also in that room is a threatening note about paying up on a debt, or else there will be consequences. Upstairs is perhaps an even darker story. In one room is a dead body next to an empty syringe and a blood stain on the bed. There's a teddy bear and a book on the bed along with some luggage. In the next room over is a crazed chem addict who attacks on sight. The two don't appear to be related until you find the teddy bear under the bed. The setup seems to suggest there was once a child around, perhaps on the run with his father, but there's no sign of that child now, so what happened to them?
That bastard, he's a liar. He just wants me dead. Those caps are all mine. I earned them.
Silva. Silva was a 22-year-old prostitute working for Colin Moriarty in Megaton, but one day she decided to skip town with some extra spending money. You can find her in Springvale as a jaded psycho junkie who doesn't have much going for her. And the reason you'll find her there is because Moriarty has information about the lone wanderer's father.
Your dad was here, and now he's not. And yes, I know where he went. But what you're asking me for is information, and information is a commodity.
But sends you after her in exchange for it.
Get the caps she owes me and they're yours. Yours to pay me with, anyway.
You can kill Silva to collect on her debt, or convince her to pay up. If you're really devious, you can convince Silva to give you 400 caps to pay her 300 cap debt and tell Moriarty she's gone.
You'd do that for me? I can't believe it. You hardly even know me.
Part of the reason she's addicted and she's willing to pay so much is that she lives in constant fear of Moriarty coming after her.
Now he's branded me a thief and a junkie and sent his cronies to find me.
In fairness, she is right. That's exactly why you're talking to her.
Who the hell are you to judge me?
Bobby DeLuca. Bobby DeLuca is a jet addict living in Vault 81, and like many Vault-based addicts, he has an enabler. His sister Tina keeps him supplied with chems, which he keeps stashed behind a hidden panel. Bobby works in the reactor room of Vault 81, except that he doesn't actually work at all. Old Rusty, the Mr. Handy robot, does all of the work, while Bobby gets high on his own supply.
Not only do I specialize in reactor maintenance, but now I am trained in doing his laundry, fetching libations, and generally picking up after him.
Well, okay, he's not high all the time. According to the Vault Overseer's terminal logs, Bobby is drunk whenever he's not high. Incidentally, Bobby's addiction is the reason the sole survivor discovers the true purpose of Vault 81, to be a testing ground for various diseases and cures. The only reason the Vault dwellers are still sane and alive is because the Overseer drew the line at animal testing and refused to knowingly infect the humans in the Vault.
They're realizing outsiders really can be trusted, and do more good than just providing resources.
But the mole rats used for testing are still around, and Austin Engel, one of the Vault's children, sees Bobby stashing his chems and decides to explore the secret area, where he is bitten by a disease-infected mole rat. This prompts the sole survivor to search the secret, locked-away section of the Vault for a cure.
I have one of the best Nuka-Cola collection in the capital wasteland.
Sierra Petrovita. There's no question that chems and alcohol are strong enough to drive some pretty serious addictions, but Sierra Petrovita has a more serious addiction than any drunk or chem addict. She lives her entire life in the pursuit of Nuka-Cola.
I take it you're here to check out my Nuka-Cola collection and take the tour.
She spent every single cap left to her by her parents on buying Nuka-Cola, clothing, merchandising, memorabilia, and anything related to the drink she can find. She doesn't eat or drink anything other than Nuka-Cola, and she's the only person anywhere in the wastes known to be addicted to Nuka-Cola Quantum.
I thought I was hooked on regular Nuka-Cola, but the Quantum beats it by a long shot.
In 2277, she set up her own Nuka-Cola museum in Girdershade around the capital wasteland. But in 2287, she's moved to the Common and she can be found in Nuka World. She's looking through the park for the 10 hidden Cappy figures, since the original prize was the chance to meet Nuka-Cola creator John Caleb Bradburton.
And the winner of the contest would get to meet the famous John Caleb Bradburton himself!
Sierra assumes that access to his office might give them the chance to find the Nuka-Cola recipe. But in actuality, Bradburton's head still exists, cryogenically preserved and conscious.
Who are you? I haven't seen a real human face in so long. I had given up all hope.
You know what? I think you and the king have some business to discuss.
Pacer. Pacer can be found at the King's School of Impersonation and is the right-hand man of the leader, the king himself.
In Freeside, the kings rule, and the king rules the kings. Got it?
He constantly gets the kings into trouble and is generally unfriendly to the courier. He has made enemies of the Van Graff family and constantly stokes tension between the kings and the NCR.
They seem to have it in for me. Go figure.
And honestly, none of that has anything to do with the fact that he's a jet addict with a weak heart, but it does help if you decide to kill him in a later quest, as the courier can tamper with the chems in his room to actually kill him with an overdose that's kind of murky and evil. Leaving him alive and convincing the king to make peace with the NCR will prompt Pacer to attempt a takeover of the kings, and he dies in the ensuing gunfight.
Free booze. The fastest way to your heart.
Henry Cooke. There isn't really much that Henry Cooke isn't addicted to. When you first meet the bartender of the Colonial Tap House in Diamond City, he's wrapped up in an argument with Paul Pembroke about the affair Henry is having with Paul's wife, Darcy.
You'd better get out of here. before you do something stupid.
In addition to apparently sleeping with a married woman, Henry is also addicted to Jet, Psycho, Mentats, and Buffout. So basically, he'll take whatever he can get. And since he's also involved with Murawski in a major chem smuggling racket, he can get just about anything.
Name's Cooke, by the way. Henry Cooke. Let me know if I can get you anything.
Henry is an underground chem dealer in Diamond City, but he's involved with a deal going bad just as you meet him. Should you help Henry survive the deal, he'll leave Diamond City and presumably the chem trade forever. But don't worry, he'll be fine. He gets a steady stream of caps from the Institute since he works as an informant for the Synth Retention Bureau.
I think I'll just keep that to myself. But don't worry, I've been planning this move for a while. I'll be fine.
The Bear Brothers. In the pit, you meet the Bear Brothers, John and Grud, a pair of vicious pit fighters. John wields an armor-shattering Deathclaw gauntlet, while Grud scorches the arena with a flame of fire. And for some reason, they're addicted to Radaway. That's not really a normal thing to get addicted to, so why and how does that happen? Well, the arena is full of radiation-based weaponry and traps. To survive that and stay fighting, and not mutated, Radaway became a pretty regular thing, so now they cannot go without it. Now, their addiction to Radaway makes them basically impervious to any of the arena's many radiation-based traps. This dangerous combination has kept the Bear Brothers undefeated in the arena, at least until they come up against the Lone Wanderer. Incidentally, the Bear Brothers were once members of the Brotherhood of Steel, but eventually they were left behind for being too wild and mean. Paladin Greg Kodiak Bear of the Lion's Pride is the brother who stayed with the Brotherhood after John and Grud were left behind in the pit. The wastes are full of all kinds of addicts, and we've only touched on a few of the gems so far. Let us know if we've missed any in the comments below. As always, this is Dash for Curse saying thanks for watching, and as always, enjoy the game.
Thanks, kid. You watch yourself out there.